Hey everybody, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. I am getting ready to leave for Georgia right now. Literally in my driveway, but getting ready to back out. This is going to be a fun one. I wanted to make a quick video about it. I am heading to Georgia for a reason. The reason is that I am picking up a brand new rooftop tent. And it is a rugged bound, which is an awesome high quality tent. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to kind of record the journey and I'm going to take you guys along with me. So stay tuned. As you saw in the intro, I'm on my way to Georgia right now to pick up a rugged bound hard shell pop-up tent. Super excited about this thing. You know, I've met Theo, the owner of this company. That's kind of how I was afforded this opportunity to get this thing. It was actually one that was sent to a customer who he ended up getting a bigger one, and rather than get this one shipped back, Theo said, hey, you know, I'd love for you to have it and talk about it on your channel and stuff like that. If you would go pick it up in Georgia, you can have it. So I said, hell yeah, I'm going to Georgia to pick that thing up, of course. So that is how this all started, and so now I'm on my way to Georgia. But so right now, I'm in Hoosier National Forest. I've kind of cut some firewood. I've shot a couple videos for you guys, some reviews and things like that. And so now I'm just getting everything set up. But what made me want to start this little video is I feel like a lot of the times on my channel, I talk about what an idiot I am, right? I talk about how forgetful I am. I talk about having to use lists and things like that, checklists. And I kind of think sometimes you guys might think that's part of a shtick or something, right? Like it's just something I do. I'm being self-deprecating on purpose to just be an idiot. But no, I actually am an idiot. And I'm going to show you how and why I'm an idiot. So, you know, I don't have my rooftop tent right now, obviously, right? Because I'm going to pick up another one. So I had to take off the old one so that I can mount the new one on the DIY Unistrut roof. So it's Friday night. I'm in Hoosier National Forest, like I mentioned, and tonight I drove down here because it's a couple hours further south, gets me a little bit closer to Georgia. I'm waiting on a buddy, Cody, to come hang out because I need some extra hands to get that thing up on top of the truck. It's going to be super heavy. So he is going to be coming down here in a couple hours, but tonight I was going to sleep in my hammock, which you can see right back here. I was going to sleep in my hammock, right? And I grabbed the hammock and I was like, yeah, I've got the hammock. I checked it off my little checklist. I thought, you know what, I'm good. And I got here and I realized I do not have my tree straps. I don't have any straps or any sort of rope to attach it. But what I do have, so yes, I'm an idiot, and yes, I forget things all the time. However, I'm also a DIY guy and somewhat creative. So what I did was, I do have these straps, these tie downs. So I have fabricated tree straps basically temporarily out of these tie downs. So it's going to work. It's going to work. It's either that or I sleep in the vehicle. So let's test it. I'm going to hop in here and you guys can watch, okay? I'll get the tripod over here and I'll set it up and you guys can see if I fall on my ass. All right, so we're going to try and hop in this hammock that is held up with ratcheting straps because I forgot my ropes. Yes, it's very high off the ground too. I realize that now. But I feel like every night when I get in a hammock, if I start it any lower than this, then I end up on the ground. So let's see if we can do this without poking a hole in it with my knife too. All right, you ready? Please hold me. Okay. All right, yeah. That's gonna work. I think that'll work. Sweet. So this was my view Friday night. Slept in the hammock. Went to bed about 10:30, and we had to get up at 3 in order to get there by midday on Saturday to meet the guy that I'm getting the tent from. So it was pretty exhausting. Honestly, I don't think I slept a whole lot. I was kind of excited, but it was a beautiful view, and the hammock was comfortable, so that's all that matters. So after a perilous journey through Hoosier National Forest in the pitch black at 3 a.m. in the morning, and several hours of driving and slapping myself in the face to stay awake, we got on the road and we headed to Georgia. guys, we just crossed into Georgia, so I'm about 2 hours and 43 minutes away from this fantastically nice gentleman who currently has the tent that I'm picking up. So I'm going to be meeting him, which is going to be fun. Seems like a really cool dude, has a really nice 4Runner. So I'm going to be meeting with him and picking up the tent here momentarily. Alright guys, so I will show you here in a minute. The rooftop tent is mounted. I'm probably going to redo some of the way that I've got the DIY Unistrut roof rack. Actually, Cody, the Subaru back there, has some ideas. He's kind of an engineer type person, so he's got some ideas for how we can improve the roof rack and make it a little bit easier to mount the tent to it. But it is on there and it is awesome. I'm super excited about it. It's got a little bit of a learning curve as far as like how to put it away and how everything sets up, and so I'm going to be practicing with it tonight. We're going to be stopping at a place that Max, the gentleman that gave me the tent, recommended, called, I forget what it's called, Jack's River Falls or something like that. But so we're going to be trying to find a spot there and do some dispersed camping for the night so we can get some rest, because we've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. It is now 7 o'clock here, Eastern time. So it's been a long day. Not going to make it to S'more like I had hoped, because it's kind of northeast of here, so it's kind of out of the way. And it was so late by the time we got the tent installed that it just doesn't really make sense to go all the way over there. So instead, we're just going to hit up this spot that Max gave us and drink a couple beers and probably go to bed really early, because I am shot. I'm exhausted, and I know they are too. So it was a great day. 10 is on. More video and footage to come of it. I'll be talking about it more in the future here, so stay tuned. So after getting the tent mounted and deciding not to make the 4-hour-long drive to S'more, which was northeast and kind of out of the way, on the way home, we talked to Max, the gentleman who I got the tent from, and he gave us a spot. So we headed off about 2.5 hours away, stopped and had some barbecue, which was fantastic for dinner. And after eating, we headed for Jack's River Falls, which was the spot that Max recommended for dispersed camping. The drive was beautiful, the weather was beautiful, and when we got there, we found a really super twisty gravel road that took us back to the river, where we ended up just getting super lucky and finding a beautiful spot right on the water. Alright guys, so it is Sunday morning. We camped in the Chattahoochee National Forest last night. There's this really cool bridge back here that I'll show you here in a second, that you come down, and then all along this river, you can probably hear it. There's a river back there that we're camped right on. There are just dispersed camping sites all the way down this road. So we drove all the way down this road both ways and couldn't find anything. We went up into the hills up here, and then when we came back down, there were these super nice folks in this van over here. And as we pulled up, this spot was open, but it hadn't been when we drove by earlier. Well, it turns out there was still a fire going in the fire pit, but we asked the van life people over here, and they said that the people that were here had left. So we lucked out, and we pulled right into this spot. You can see the truck with the new rooftop tent on it there. The tent was amazing, super, super comfortable. I slept like a baby. Literally one of the best mattresses I've ever felt in a rooftop tent. Now, I was exhausted. I was up from 3 until about 10:30 last night, driving most of that. But man, I slept like a baby. Cody and Cody, these two are Subaru guys that came with me from Indiana in their Subaru, and that thing's pretty rad. They slept in the Gazelle last night. They are cooking steak and eggs right now, which I'll show you here in a second. But a really interesting thing about this van life guy, so his name's Luke, super, super nice guy. But as we're talking to him, he and his girlfriend brought us over. They had extra grilled cheese sandwiches. And I mean, I'll show you a picture here. I don't even know. It had like pimento cheese on it and jalapenos in it. It was better than any grilled cheese I've ever had from like a restaurant even. And they're basically like, they live down in this area, but they're traveling around in this van, which is super cool. The whole inside is like emptied out. But in talking to them last night, we hung out with them around the fire a little bit, and it turns out, I'm going to look this show up when I get home, but he's a commercial fisherman, and he was on a show doing salmon fishing on Animal Planet. So I have to look this thing up now because he's kind of a celebrity that we met. So, but super, super cool guy. His girlfriend's super cool, super nice, super gracious, super helpful. So again, this was kind of a spur of the moment trip. Max, the guy that I got the tent from, he actually told us about this spot. And again, we just kind of like freestyled it, came down here, lucked out and got this spot, but slept like a baby with the water running and flowing in the background. Great mattress in the tent. So now I get to put it up, which is going to be fun. So it was actually surprisingly easy to put this thing down. You basically just push the fabric in on both sides, push the strap in the back, and hit the latches. Then it was time for breakfast. Steak and eggs. Marinade T-bones in a bag. Some sausage. Is that onions?
Onions and peppers.
Peppers, and then eggs in a bag.
Onions and peppers were supposed to be for brats, and
that's gonna be.
We had beer, and I forgot.
Yeah, that happens when you drink beer. Yeah. So this is the back of the Subaru. He built his own box, which is pretty sweet and super, super long. So he can probably store more stuff in his than my drawer system. He's got a little table, a little custom-made rear bumper with the spare tire carrier. So he parties in this thing. He's got my old awning over there with the roof box, the gas tank. Pretty cool. Just to show you the back of the Xterra. So this is what it looks like now with the new rooftop tent and the hatch open. There's actually plenty of room up there. The only thing is you're not entering through the back. So I've got the ladder over here on the passenger side opposite the awning. The cool thing is that ladder fits into their channels on both sides and then on the back. So you could kind of play it by ear and switch it from whichever side you want. So if I wasn't going to open the back, I could go in from the back if I wanted to. Or if it's pouring down rain or something and I wanted to use the awning, I could put it in the back if I needed to. So pretty cool. So once we got done eating breakfast, we popped in our cars, made sure we had everything, and we hit the road. Again, we started having to take about 45 minutes to get out through this super twisty gravel road, which was pretty awesome. And then we hit the highway after that, and about 7-8 hours back, finally hit Indiana again. So again, all in all, super exciting trip. Awesome to pick up this tent. Cannot wait to use it even more. The teardown is so much easier than my old tent that I'm really excited about it. So thanks for hanging out and thanks for coming with me. And I hope that was an entertaining drive. If you don't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when new videos drop. Check the description below for links to all my other social channels if you want to come hang out on those. And we'll see you next time.